Hey guys, welcome to the start of a beautiful new Project Zomboid series. I've got on Super Survivors again, so now I've got massive camps of NPCs trying to keep themselves alive amid a zombie storm. The whole apocalypse began just a day ago, but I'm amazed by how the numbers have grown already, and the zombie population is, I think, scaling higher. But little do they know that off away to the south, me and a couple of other survivors are starting a new base now, at a gas station underneath Rosewood, nearby the prison. And I hope not to be at the prison for a while, actually. This time around anyway, considering what happened last time. We're going to live out a quiet existence, hopefully with power. My wife and I are going down there right now, and I'm gonna drop her off because it's very dangerous looking for survivors. I've lost a couple people in this server, or on this world already, and I hope not to lose any more, but what can I say, it's very difficult to look for survivors, and I'm going to have to bring them back one at a time. Now the goal is to get a car and start to scavenge for food, water, and any other supplies that we need for survival, because my goal is to start up a small city, with which we could hopefully go out and raid the surrounding towns, and maybe even re-establish a presence throughout much of the rest of Rosewood. For much of the rest of the map, it'll be kind of to be determined, but I've already got one guy living there, and I've got a generator ready now. And with the presence of pitch black nights, nighttime is going to be very scary to play in, especially after the power goes out. So I'm just going to tell my wife now to stay here and relax. And then my other survivor, Thomas, actually doesn't know about this character yet because the previous one didn't. So I'm going to just introduce myself to him. Oh, actually, no, he's already with me. My wife, Thomas. Okay, so he's already friendly, and I don't really need to worry about him. Let's see. I do want kind of a taste of what the night is going to be like after this, once the power goes out, so I'm hoping to get some time to just shut off the lights. And is she actually following me right now, or is she's doing her own thing? I think she might have started following me again when I called her. Yeah, okay, so now she's gonna go relax at the base. I'm hoping to find a car that has a key right here, and then take that out, because the first couple days are going to be essential. We need to find other survivors, you can defend this complex, because we do get a raider event within the first few days. That's going to put everything in jeopardy. They don't have ranged weapons, but they have, I think, a good number of, whatchamacallit? Good number of melee weapons, so they should be able to do a good amount of damage to us if we aren't prepared. And we're going to need guns for the first few days, otherwise we're going to get overwhelmed by these people. I don't know how the survivors hold up on these battles with other survivors, though. These other ones are very aggressive, and my guess is that our people won't really hold up unless they find weapons. So I'm hoping that either the Savior's Camp will fall, or I can find an axe to get access to the police station in town. I don't want to make as much noise as the Savior's made, otherwise that's a death wish for us, because obviously all the zombies get attracted to it. But for right now, I think that the most selfless, probably important thing to do at this point is to just go out and find other survivors. I also am going to need a car back, because my previous character didn't leave any running cars there. He had taken out his car to find other survivors, and that's actually how that first one's Thomas is there. So it's actually quite nice now, because we're at the beginning of a series. You know, no time has passed since the Outbreak, but it just happened to be very sudden the way I'm sort of playing it right now. So all the roads will be devoid of weeds, all the trees will still be, you know, everything will look fresh, clipped, nothing rough around the edges for a few weeks. Zomboid does tend to look very cookie cutter, and nice and fresh in this state, so it'll be nice to play like this, especially after the last Hardcore 6 Months Later series. Though I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of action right now, and I want to head back to this Savior's Camp, and just see if there's going to be any way to grab what they've got, or if it'll be impossible. Oh, Oh, wow, a crawler already. One almost grabbed my foot. Now, I've made a character that's very strong, stealthy, and has a lot of traits. I'm just going to show off a couple of his things. Obviously, he's got a lot of noodles, but this only puts him a little bit further ahead. So he's got a couple of stat points in his favor. Obviously, he can use generators because that's one of the main purposes of this series. But I wanted a character who would actually have some fighting chance, because obviously saving other survivors is not an easy task, and you need to be able to outrun a horde, bring that character to you, maybe fight off a couple of zombies, in order to actually convert them to your side. Man, it sounds like it's going to be too rough in there for a while for me to get anything done. So I think I'm going to head over to the police station, because I already got one survivor out of the fire station. That was very successful. Obviously, I'm going to want to steer clear of the prison for a while, because that's got hostile soldiers at it, but hopefully I can find a car and just do a quick scan of the area. A lot of the places that are going to be very active, I suppose, will be places where the survivors are already overrun, unfortunately. Because if I see big clumps of zombies in any one area, I gotta run. Because that means that the survivors have already been killed, probably. Let's see, well, there's a massive first aid chainsaw, hello. I can gas that up. 10% gas, can I put in more? Let's see, put more gas. Okay, so I have to do it bit by bit. Chainsaw is actually one of my favorite weapons. I've enabled it and the katana. The katana is a force to be reckoned with. Let's see, okay, so that actually consumed the entire gas can. Bit of a surprise. I've also got pretty decent loot on in this playthrough, because I figure that for all the zombie hordes that I'm going to be sifting through, I may as well give myself a decent reward for fighting them off. And there's also the presence of a good number of safe houses too, so hopefully sort of like dungeon runs as we go through. And actually, I forgot about how quickly this thing uses up gas. I'm going to unequip it so we don't use it like that. Ah, nope. Let's turn it off. Unequip. There we go. Should turn off soon. And there we are. Okay. How about this purple car? Nope. Sometimes you get luck with the fire trucks that they have a key in them still. Nope. 3 out of 3 cars. Some of the cars will be locked too, because I've sort of favored a little bit more realism, if I might say. And the last thing is that zombies are going to be tending to spawn in clumps. Because I can't really see a lot right here, though I know that there are a lot of areas, yep, there it is, where they've all kind of grouped up and made much larger threats. And I'm not seeing any keys in this car. I'm hoping to find one with one of the police cars, though, because you can kind of create an event by... Yes, there we go, this one has gas in it. Okay, so I finally found a police car. And I have a chainsaw too now. Chainsaw is an excellent weapon, but of course it has the noise to deal with. I'd prefer to find a katana if I can. And I'm hoping to head back up here. Now just to scan the area for some survivors, see if anybody's left. Uh-oh. This neighborhood looks completely overrun. There were a few people in here before, but I don't even know if I'll be able to get them out. Usually it gets me killed if I go in. What I'm hoping to find is the 1 or 2 stealthy survivors who managed to stay in the upper floor or 2 of their house. And just not attract any attention. Even if they don't have a weapon at the beginning, I can always arm them later. You know, having a weapon isn't really the most important part, it's just that they stay alive long enough and quietly enough for me to get there in time. So it looks like these 2 blocks, I'm not seeing any names come up. So I'm not going to find any in there. I know that the preacher's also gone. Sometimes you find a preacher spawn in who's defending the last of his parish, perhaps from his parishioners, with a shotgun, which I always thought was kind of a nice touch to the game in terms of, you know, zombie flavor. Sometimes I find 1 or 2 survivors around here. It doesn't look like it. And I think there's one more gas station actually here at the north of Rosewood. Now this would be another place that you could go to survive, but this one is usually more occupied. See, the one at the bottom is actually completely unoccupied, but this one's got a few that spawned around it. Let's see if we can find anyone in the upper floors, because sometimes I find a gas station attendant who's actually living here inside. Now, I'll attract some of them, but hopefully I'll be able to take a few out. There's a bit of a wind-up with this weapon. There we go. It actually makes quite a bit more noise than I had remembered. But I mean, it has the power to justify it. Crawlers, I don't know if it's... Is it good for crawlers? It is. It's good for anything. It's probably mostly just combat experience, because I'm taking them out about at the rate at which I'm drawing their attention. Let's play even faster, I'm drawing their attention. Let's just see if I can get a few to get it safe enough for the gas station. Clear out. Here we go. I was always hoping that I would find a chainsaw in a playthrough, but I never imagined that I would have an unlimited supply of gas. There we go, break through a window. Keep looking over your shoulders. Looking over your shoulders is really important in this. Okay, here we go. Another one, and I gotta keep an eye on that gas meter. Obviously I'll be able to keep refilling it, because I'm at a gas station. I realized this would be such a good place to go until now. There we go. I'm just gonna take you through the window. Find any more. There we go. It's possible that one of them has a gun on them or something, but I don't know if I'll find it. Let's just keep the chainsaw running until we get up the... Ooh, it's gonna be really dark. Turn on the lights. Yeah, with darker nights, any area is going to be just a little bit darker, and it's going to make running through indoors for raids that much more difficult. I think this is true to real life, because it can get really dark, and as you're an adult... Actually, I think that your night vision gets just a little bit worse. Oh my goodness! The best possible early game pickups. Let's unequip the chainsaw and bring out that katana. I've survived so long just with a katana. It's my favorite weapon, and I never take them out. That makes it less powerful, because it feels like something out of Dead Rising, to be honest. Just look at how extremely powerful it is. If someone made a mod that, like, combined Dead Rising with Zomboid, that would just make me a happy child. Let's see. Okay, so another empty gas can, so I'll have a couple of these. It might be useful to store a little bit of gas in my car. Seeing as I'm using the chainsaw so liberally. Let's keep going here. Okay, I'm way over my carrying capacity, but that's alright. I should probably start to store a lot of gas cans, because I can't really foresee anything that would go wrong with this gas station plan, but... I mean, what do I know? A lot of things that I never foresee go wrong with my Zomboid series, so... It's always that one thing that you left to chance that kills you. That's why I like to be very careful now. It looks like I found a Desert Eagle here. Oh, where I'll find ammo for that. The gun shop in West Point is basically an impossibility. Oh, this car actually has gas in it. I'm gonna have to pick between this and my old car. Alright, so the police car is, I think, in better condition. I had cars spawn in normal condition. Usually the game has them spawn in worse condition, but I think it's okay to just have them in this condition. I might have to do a little bit of repairs. But I think it's a bit cruelty to myself to have them spawn in worse. And sometimes it can feel like a waste of time. So, of course, there will be wrecked cars that I might want to salvage, but... But ah well. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this thing back to my base because I kind of just like the look of the car. The siren isn't really that necessary unless if I want a place where I permanently want zombies. Because once you turn on a siren, there's really no walking out of it unless if you kill the whole horde, which pretty much will involve a grenade, or in this case, a Molotov cocktail. And by then you'll have way more zombies around you. So let's turn on headlights. Gosh, I'm just appreciating how dark the pitch black nights are in this game. And I think I'm probably gonna play this way for good now. I just like the look of it. You know, so much of this game is like horror movie elements. Like, you'll have the sound effects that whenever you get snuck up on, you'll hear the... Oh, oof. It looks like handling isn't very good on this car. You'll have the sound effects, so I think that it just makes it that much more effective. Wow, they're already beating up my car. And it looks like we got one survivor who's survived. Now he's... I could get him to... I could call over to him. Oops, wrong button. Greg. Calling to Greg. I need Aiden. Aiden. It looks like he hasn't been... See if I can... Oh no. I was trying to attract them to me instead of him. It sounds like they've already got a bite out of him. Can I back up into them? Nope. Nope. No. I'm sorry, buddy. I tried to save you. My first failure to save a survivor. Hopefully not, but possibly in a series of other ones. He just got eaten on sight. Got eaten like it was Dawn of the Dead. I forget that scene where they just start pulling out the guy's intestines. Ah! So the best horror filmography? Not filmography. Choreography? No. Videography? Cinematography in horror movies, in my opinion. So this is how much lights are doing. It just makes it seem like it's completely unlivable to be anywhere else. But I mean, we've got all of this woods between us and them. I figure I could probably put up a few checkpoints. As long as I can keep the main roads walled off, I probably won't attract them back. I could leave the woods unwalled for a while because... I mean, they'll probably get lost in the woods anyway. So let's park the car here. Now there's a number of places to sleep, and I just want to make sure that the two survivors that I have got are okay. I can't even remember what the whole point of this run was anymore. I was looking for another survivor, but I couldn't find him. So at the end of every day, I've got a number of needs to take care of, and I'll stick my giant katana. Don't worry, wife, I have a massive katana. I'll defend everyone here with it. And a chainsaw. Now, I'm probably going to want to be very organized because I've got a lot of space and no real threats for a while. I'm hoping to keep the windows intact because I just like having windows. It seems like you never get to have them in any Zomboid playthrough. So I want to have some indoor areas where I can keep the lights on. I might start off by barricading these first few areas, but what was I saying originally? I want to have an armory. So I think I'll just have some collection areas to start with. And I'll put them in the parking lot so that they're easily distinguishable from me. I'll put tools over here in this first parking space. I'll put a chainsaw or other weapons over here. I'll get everything out of the back of my car. And I have enough space over here that I can pretty easily spread out. I should probably have a whole section for gas cans. And now the advantage of putting everything on the floor rather than in shelves is that I could just see it right in front of me and there's more or less unlimited storage space. I'll put empty gas cans over there and full gas cans over there. I'll think of it like this. Heavier gas cans are weighed down. There. Little mental tricks like that will help me with storage a lot. I've got food in here. Might want a whole other section for that. Perishables and non-perishables. I did forget to get some perishables on my way out, and I'm probably going to do that soon. But the truth is that the power hasn't even gone out yet. And I've got a number of places to store things like that, and I can't remember if vending machines actually work for that purpose as well, so I'll see if things turn cool in them. I've got 2 water bottles, so plenty to keep me hydrated. I think at this point I'm going to have some chips and then go to sleep. There's really not much more point looking around because it's going to tire me out, and I can't really work with this nighttime, even with the power on. The only places that'll make, I guess, doable for surviving are the center of cities, but the center of cities tend to be very much overrun. So we'll sleep for the first night and take it from there. Before the video ends, I just want to say a big thank you to a viewer named Evil Cookie for first giving me this idea. It was a fantastic idea to use a generator in a gas station, and one I had never even conceived, and that could bring you unlimited power, so it was his idea, and I just want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. If you have any other ideas for series, just pop them down below, and I'll read them. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.